I'm going to open the chat. I'd love to know where you are in the world and anything that's going on for you in your life, anything you want to share as we get into the circle together to discuss relationship coaching. And we're going to be sharing with you a lot of details about what it's like to be a relationship coach, what the questions are that we've received in email about relationship coaching, and all about our training, of course, as well. So I am going to actually not share because then I can't see if you write any questions into my chat. Hi, Susie in Scotland, welcome. And I see Jeffrey and Karina and Kathy and Melanie and Maya and more people. So welcome everybody. All right. So I'm going to just jump in to, and I was seeing there's someone in the United Kingdom and Las Vegas and Ohio and Germany. And so, what I love about our community is that we are worldwide, and India and Belgium. And I just love how even in a small class size, the amount of diversity we have, and also the amount of different life stages and different kinds of relationships that are going on for all of us. It's interesting to kind of just go internal for a moment and look at how many relationships are in your life, and are there some you want to add in. So one of the kind of cool parts of being a relationship coach that I think is often missed, because so often people are focusing on what is a relationship challenge or what is missing in a relationship and that kind of thing. But one thing I love is helping clients figure out what they want to add in. Maybe a whole new kind of relationship. Maybe they want to add in a new emotional experience for them in relationship. Often relationship coaching is actually much more centered on the individual than you would think, because it's our individual skills and our individual needs and our way of being in relationship that can really help us the most to create harmony and zest and trust and good times with other people, which I think we all want, right? We all want good times with ourselves and with other people. So let me know, Mark, if you're all good now with
I got everything going.
Okay, awesome. Nice to have you doing that.
Pushing the buttons.
Yes, I like that. I get all a little bit like distracted when I have to go on to another, channel like Facebook while doing this. So I appreciate it.
Yep.
So let's look at what relationship coaches do. I appreciate it. Oh, and you turn off you actually have to get off your Facebook so we're not hearing it. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Was an infinite regress right there.
Yeah. So one of the things we're doing as relationship coaches is we're really understanding our clients' unique goals in their relationships, their values, and what skills that they want to bring in. So relationship coaching is client-centric. It is about what the client is needing and wanting. It's not, we also train relationship coaches to teach courses and lead groups. Mm-hmm. And so that's more of a learning platform. But when we are coaching someone in relationship, it is about them. And the cool thing about that is it means we don't have to be perfect in some way to be a relationship coach. I'm wondering if anyone kind of has that question or has that come up for them, that maybe there's a relationship in your life or a skill that you feel you still need. And it can feel like, how can I coach other people if I'm not perfect yet? And the good news is, well, I would never be a relationship coach if I felt I had to be perfect or at some great level in my own relationships. I think Instead, as people who are relationship coaches, we are always growing. We are always evolving and nurturing ourselves and our relationships. So that never, I mean, the cool thing about relationship is it's something that is evolving and changing and growing all the time. It's not static. It's not like you build a house and the house is there. In relationship, you're building the relationship, things change a little bit, you're readjusting, you're gaining the skill of flexibility and growth
Mhm.
as you go. That's really the beauty of really empowering, loving relationship.
Also, most people feel like relationship is pretty complex. I mean, who can relate that you feel like it's a little complicated? It feels unique. So you might be like, hey, we're married this, but we have kids from here and we have family from here. And here's my circumstances and their circumstances. And so it's a really helpful situation to get a one-on-one coach for clients. They get it. They want a relationship coach who will get them and their particular situation, who can then work with them to customize whatever they want to figure out about their particular life. It's much easier for the client than reading a book and picking out that gold nugget that they want to implement. So people really want to feel understood in the relationship and all the layers they have.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I've noticed doing relationship coaching now for over a decade now. And one thing I notice over and over again is that clients go back and forth between getting very close to what they're building in themselves and their relationships, whether it's trusting themselves, having healthy boundaries, creating better communication skills, and then also needing to pull back a little bit in the coaching and look at their bigger life. So as relationship coaches, we also help people with their careers, with their health, with their purpose, with their relationship with themselves. All of these are part of the skills of being a relationship coach. So it's relationship coaches are working with every part of a client's life, not only their relationships. However, what's great when you're telling people what you do, everyone understands relationship coaching. They understand that people do need support to improve their relationships and themselves in that relating.
Mm-hmm.
So
And can I say something in there? Is that
mhm.
the relationship field is also changing in that people are much more proactive about the relationship. So maybe like in the previous generation, it was like you're married, but you're going to have problems. But if you admit you have problems, you are somehow wrong or something like that, you're broken or something. And these days, people are treating their relationships more and more just the way they treat their health. They're not thinking, oh, let's wait till it breaks. They're like, how do I make it better? How do I really focus on my on my child, on our parenting together, on our relationship, different parts of our relationship. So it's really joyful part for relationship coaches that they have so many more clients who are kind of coming from a place of passion and interest and emotional investment.
Yeah, I think that is probably more true than anything we could say here, is that how much people value their relationships. And I think if the last year and a half of having a global pandemic has really shown that importance in people's life of honoring their relationships and their relationships to themselves as well. So I know I didn't cover everything in that slide, but hopefully you guys had time to read that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll just point out some of the important things here, though, in case some people aren't looking at the slides. So one of the ways we work as relationship coaches is that we look at what our clients really need at different levels: physically, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. We also always look at any specific relationship that a client is bringing to have coaching around. What does that relationship need to grow? What does that relationship need for the people in the relationship to have more connection, to be able to relax together, to be able to have joy together, to be able to find more purpose together? And we help our clients find inner resources through techniques and tools of working with our our minds, but also our emotions and our hearts and our energy. And we help people find resources in their community and their family. Sometimes, like someone, for example, I can remember several clients I've had that were working on stepping kind of into life again to find love, to start dating. And you would be surprised that one of the biggest resistances they had was actually telling their children and telling their friends. And so once the coaching could help them to be more empowered and to know how they wanted to share this next step for them, then taking the actions came very easily. But they needed that support from loved ones to be able to step into that next phase. So, as relationship coaches, what Mark and I find is really important for our clients is a process of learning to take little steps every day. So while there are key decisions and important insights that people have in relationship coaching, the ability, the energy to take action, to practice new communication skills, new nonverbal skills, new flexibility in appreciating other people, that really creates the momentum for people to have change happen very quickly. So when a client practices something every day for a week or 2 weeks, it becomes a new skill.
Can I give an example, Magali?
Sure. And I'm gonna let Lily out of the room. One
Yeah,
of my
I
key
heard a little tapping.
relationships is my dog here, who is
It's a real relationship.
it
is a dog.
is, yes.
So one of the examples that actually Magali developed some years ago now that has been a favorite for me, and I think it really brings it home, is it's called the greeting strategy, right? And so imagine that you have a couple who are in some stress, right? They've had difficult conversations, whatever. And one of them or both of them have developed a habit that when they come home, they go straight to their room or their cave or their computer, or they kind of go, even if the other person is home. And why? Because often when people are under stress, they start to avoid other people who might raise that stress, even if they love them, even if they want to be with them and so forth. And so a simple strategy for couples is the greeting strategy, meaning when you come home, you go straight to your partner and you say hello and you give them presents for even just a half a minute, right? And so that is one of these things when a couple, and you can probably relate, let me know if you relate, if someone comes home and they seem like they're kind of slinking away or kind of waiting or going to their own thing and they're not saying hello, it kind of lowers the ceiling on what that couple will experience that day, usually, right? One is like, wow, they don't even want to say hello. They can feel it, right? But when you go up and the couples may not even know that they're causing this dynamic, that this dynamic is causing even more stress in the couple. So, when instead the couple decides, I'm going to go and give my love, appreciation, and presence to my partner for just even a minute, whatever it is, small, short time. It just takes a short time and make that a priority. It has a systemic effect in the whole couples. That whole day is going to be different. What's possible, what will be shared is totally different because the joining is so important. And it's an example of just a very small strategy. It's not it's not expensive. It's not very scary. It's making that suggestion. And for the couple to be able to do that, it just creates huge positive effects. So that's an example of a small thing that has a big effect.
And what's really interesting about that one is that was developed for a client who was struggling with her mom, not in her romantic relationship. This was a woman who had had a really difficult childhood, had left home at age 14, really had a tough life. And she was a young woman in her 20s and now was at the place where she wanted to kind of connect again with her biological mom. But there was a lot of separation. And she noticed that she almost had a physical reaction every time she saw her mom. And her mom would react by pulling away and they would get into this distancing.
Hmm.
And so the way a lot of our strategies are created is because a client has a need. So my
Yep.
client had the need to shift this interaction with her mom. She was actually pregnant and she wanted to heal the relationship with her mom as she stepped into being a mother herself. And so we always look for what's the smallest change.
Hmm.
So we worked on how she could greet her mom in a way that would be soothing, and her mom's nervous kind of personality would settle
Yeah.
so they could have better conversations and connection. And so she found these, together we helped her find these small ways to be more open in her energy and in her physical expression when seeing her mom. And then that worked so well, she wanted to use it with her husband.
Yep.
And then we thought, well, this worked really well for her. Let's see who else this will work for. And that's often how, this is also a story about the way these techniques grow,
Hmm.
is they're almost always started through an actual person's needs.
Yep.
And as a relationship coach, as any kind of coach that we train, we hope that you take these tools and techniques you learn and you really customize and personalize them for each of your clients. But what's cool is that you have a toolbox of over 50 different strategies and techniques.
Yep.
So you'll be able to almost spontaneously get into a flow where intuitively you know which tool you want to grab. Then at other times, you might want to follow a whole session plan for helping someone with like emotional maturity or more flexibility or healthy boundaries. And these session plans are given to you. That's what our training consists of,
Mhm.
is teaching you these session plans and techniques and having you practice them so that you really know them, not just at the level of intellect, but at the level of doing, of speaking, and relating to someone using that strategy. It's totally different than just reading directions in a book. When you do it, you speak it, you hear the client's reaction, you realize, oh, okay, next time I'm going to add a little space there. Or I want to add, there's something not in this plan. I have these questions that are important. I'm going to add them in.
Yep.
And this is really how we grow as coaches. We can start with a recipe, and then we can make that recipe our own.
And I mean, that's one of the benefits that we have of having been coaching and teaching coaches for 12, 15 years, thousands of coaches, is that we've seen these situations and have had the opportunity to see what's a strategy that would work for that situation. All these strategies are developed in the field with real clients. And so and sometimes they flop. Sometimes we try a strategy and say, wow, that one didn't work. I'm not going to use that one again. But sometimes we find one that's really golden and that works over and over. And that's part of what we teach our relationship coaches, is really proven strategies that we've seen being used dozens of times or hundreds of times. And that way it's, when you see that situation, and sometimes it's you're dealing with a situation in a couple and you think, oh, what do I need now? Or you're thinking, hey, here's a skill I can teach this couple. There's no problem, but I want to teach them this skill and it's going to improve things so much.
Awesome. So let's look a little bit inside at what like relationship goals are.
Yeah.
What clients might bring to your relationship coaching as a goal. Often goals are really emotionally based. They might be an emotion the individual wants to have or that the couple wants to have more of together. The great thing about coaching a couple or a parent or someone who has like a adult sibling, they want to improve the relationship. There is a relationship history where there has been some level of connection and love. And so that's a big head start.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then people often want to get back to an earlier relationship emotion, and we can help them find that. But we've already got memory on our side. Now, of course, there's also situations where there's a lot of wounding. But of course, then we know what we're bringing healing to. So often relationship coaching can be actually quite practical too. schedules, duties, responsibilities, accountability, taking out the garbage, picking up the kids, respecting each other's needs for sleep or showers or social time. So we're getting into all of that as well. And relationship goals might be about having certain positive experiences together. Like I had a couple that it was so cute. I had them each choose one special thing that they would do with their partner that they knew their partner would really appreciate out in the world doing together. So the man who was a very, let's say not a dancer, went to Zumba with his wife. And she laughed so hard during the Zumba class that she couldn't even do the steps. She was just like bent over, she said, like cackling, because to see her husband there. And so you can imagine how that just, his effort to show up for a Zumba class just broke through years of actual pretty difficult intimacy struggles.
Mhm.
And she got on a plane with him. He was a pilot and she had a fear of flying, and he flew her on the plane, and she took that huge step of overcoming her fear and having him fly her in the plane. And that was enormous. So, couples often are stepping forward and taking some pretty big steps in their life. So
Yeah.
the coaching helps them to be empowered to take those actions in their life.
And it's,
And yeah,
oh, sorry, the action element is so important, because often people think that coaching is talking and thinking and analyzing and going over it. And you know what I mean? And so we really like an action-based approach, meaning action brings a whole nother richness to an opportunity. So an action really is worth 1,000 words or more. And so we like to incorporate that dynamic.
absolutely. And some other goals that we find relationship clients often have is, and this is a tricky one. They come to you and they say, I want him or her or them to be different. Why won't they change? And then, that's when it's great to have the skills you have as a relationship coach, because you can figure out the way the person that you're working with can have their own transformation or create healthier boundaries or deeper understanding, deeper compassion for the way that their child or their partner or their parent or their friend is behaving.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of growth happens, I think, for all of our relationship coaching clients in the area of being able to express themselves, being able to speak their truth, but with love, with shared values. Because unfortunately, when we just speak our truth from pain, it doesn't often really get heard. Usually a big defense goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to help our clients be able to speak their truth and also share from the place of love that's always there. It's always underneath, any frustration, anger, pain, underneath it usually has a sadness, a hope,
Mm-hmm.
a need for love, a need for connection. And so we can, as relationship coaches, do some very deep, important work with people, helping them have voice and helping them have healthy power. Because the other thing is, many times in relationship, people have a power inequality or confusion. And so we are helping clients kind of figure that out and find ways to create not only healthy goals, but also healthy boundaries, also self-love and self-care. So that relationship with oneself is critical in relationship coaching. And I'm always very, very happy when a client says to me, you know what, I've changed my mind. All this stuff I brought to you that I wanted the perfect partner, all of this, I've actually changed my goal. I want to fall in love with myself right now. And I always say, wonderful, let's work with that. And it's usually the missing piece for them, that when they find that inner connection, then of course it's easier to connect outwardly too. So we talked a little bit about kind of key experiences
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say about that, Mark?
I think one thing that you're actually making me think is that how we have a very elevating approach. In other words, it's not saying, hey, Buster, you got to do that, or like we're like laying down the law or finding one person wrong. We find that both people in the relationship probably want some elevation. They probably want to be more heard. They have good intentions that we want to be honored, and they have strengths and resources. They have positive aspects of their history and from their previous relationship when it was better or more successful. And so we're always thinking, let's find all that good stuff and bring that back in to the mix, and not saying, hey, I got you, you were wrong, or you have to do this or something like that. So it's the position of the relationship coach is actually very joyful and empowering to each person.
Absolutely. Also, as relationship coaches, we're not alone as helpers. We might see clients who are also working with a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a marriage counselor, and that's wonderful. We
Mm-hmm.
can be part of a person's team of helpers, and we teach you how to talk to those other professionals and to work in partnership with other professionals. Sometimes the best referral source for coaching is a psychologist or is a family doctor or is a school teacher or a leader of a church or another kind of community organization. So it's really good to have those skills to be able to um, know how to not only network, but create really ongoing relationships with people in your community who are going to refer coaching clients to you.
Mm-hmm.
So clients almost always become more emotionally mature and they transform emotional obstacles. So I think in relationship coaching, maybe more than other forms of coaching, we're working with emotions and the energy of love and connection and trust. And when we have strategies we can use that help our clients to really awaken that resource within of love and connection, it makes it possible to take the actions they've known for a long time they should or want to take. So lots of people have read books or have a list of what would be good to have a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, like Mark said, they still kind of hide in their cave, or they still get angry when they don't want to be angry. And it's because at an emotional level, they haven't quite matured enough yet to transform these emotions and be kind to themselves when they have emotions, because there's also that relationship with the inner critic that is often really keeping someone away from having healthy relationship because they're actually putting themselves down so much. I see that quite a bit. A lot of low self-esteem in the area of relationship, a problem kind of getting over regrets we had at another stage of life. So often one of the kind of the first healings that I find happens is a person, let's say in their 50s or 60s, actually wants to heal a way they were in their romantic relationship or in their parenting relationship from 10 or 20 years ago. And so we help bring understanding and self-forgiveness, self-compassion to that, so that we're kind of clearing
Mm-hmm.
the space to now be able to build what the person really needs and wants to create in their relationship.
Yeah, there's a lot of people have a pattern, and that they discover as they're growing in relationship, is that they get hurt and they avoid, they turn away, they get angry, and it's like they can't be really present with the other person. So, and we don't necessarily focus on this, but that's one of the things that comes in when the relationship has more resources, more positive experiences, more communication, is that people are able to be stabilized and be like, oh yeah, I got hurt right now, or my feelings got hurt, but I don't have to run away. I don't have to attack. I can, communicate with you. And that's kind of part of the maturing, is there's a healing aspect that many people enjoy.
So let's look a little bit at some of the details of the training program and what you learn and the skills you get. So we make sure that every relationship coach has 12 core coaching session plans. That's really a complete system. If someone just, who you met tomorrow said to you, I don't know how to improve any relationship, I don't even know what I want, you could just take them through 12 weeks to gain a lot of skill and awareness about themselves in relationships. So that's like our kind of beginning step as a relationship coach, teaching you. And then we train you in a specialty, either as a couples coach or a parent and family coach, with specific session plans and skills, but also in over 24 general tools and skills of coaching, so you can help anyone with any goal or challenge they have in their life, not just in relationship coaching, because relationship coaching is part of more general life coaching. Now, it's also very helpful to have a specialty, right? Because then you know who you can offer your services to. So that's really important too. And by the way, there's a lot more specialties in relationship coaching than in most coaching. So not only like just being a couples coach or just being a parenting coach, there you can get more specialized, like coaching stepmoms, coaching dads over 50. It can be by age, by specific relationship. It can also be skill building, like how to open up to love, how to transform my relationship with whatever you think of. Combining, I know relationship coaches, I know several who combine teaching dance and relationship coaching. That's really cool. We also know relationship coaches that work specifically with a group like teenagers, and they combine their coaching with doing an art or doing a craft, or also with hiking or walking. There's also coaches that combine relationship coaching with another healing modality or something that's also healing, like being a personal trainer. Because often what personal trainers find, and I think the reason they come to relationship coaching, is as they're helping someone with their physical health and their strength, it's really natural that the client they're helping shares with them about their relationships and that relationship with themselves, that they're working to improve through transforming the physical body. Now the emotions and the relationships feel safe with that person, and they want support in that part of themselves too.
I wonder, there's a lot of professionals who work with people. They might be in health, they might be in therapy, they might be in management. And what they tell us over and over is that when they start speaking with someone, and they might be counseling them, like say on business strategy, and in one day they'll find themselves talking about relationship. And that's because relationship is in everybody's life. It's the largest topic for people. And I have actually some numbers here. So if you're a couples coach in the US, there are 126 million married people who you could be working with. So that's 40% of the population. If you're a parent coach in the US, you'll be working with 132 million people with children under 18. And then there's the parents of 40 million young adults. And if you want to be working as a relationship coach with people who are single, you'll be working with 125 million people. And that's just within the US. So what this tells us is that we're surrounded by people who are, the relationship is top of mind to them. They have a relationship, a key relationship, or an area of relationship that they would like to improve. And so they're kind of looking for relationship help. They're looking for a relationship coach. When they meet a relationship coach, they're instantly thinking, actually, they're curious. They want to know, was this person who can help me? So it's really unique as a form of coaching in that it is specialized. Even if you think, oh, I'm a parenting coach and I specialize in teenage, parents of teenagers, it's still just millions upon millions of people who are your potential clients.
Absolutely. And I'm just gonna fast forward here a little bit on our slides. Want to talk a little bit about how we help people build their marketing system and what's important there?
Sure. So we, as coaches, we have a really cool thing in that our services are delivered through a relationship and through conversation. So it means that when you learn, for instance, the coaching package that we teach our students as our relationship coaches, you have your relationship coaching package. Your relationship coaching package is that you're trained in these sessions, and now you know how to lead a client through them one-on-one. And therefore, when you sign someone up, you're signing them up for a sequence of relationship coaching sessions, right? So that's really cool that you learn it, and then you don't need videos or like to write a book or to create like some complicated or long-term, content building. It's really in the service and the skills and the coaching skills and in the package that you have to deliver. And so we teach our coaches how to market in a way that is very efficient for coaches, meaning that unlike someone who's trying to create a best-selling book or an online course, and they have a lot of building to do. If you have a course, you have to create the course and make the videos and all these things, right? And that's great, but it takes a long time. We can get relationship coaches who have learned the relationship skills up and running as relationship coaches with paying clients very quickly, and in a way that's really just an outgrowth of your own values and your own authentic self as a relationship coach.
So I'm hearing questions in my mind of that some people have had.
Yes.
And that is, what if there are certain types of relationship problems I don't want to coach? That's okay. You don't have to work with everyone. And all those millions of people Mark mentioned, there will be clients that you can say, not for me, and you can refer them to someone else. So that's a good thing to know. You have the control to create the kind of relationship coaching practice you want that's in alignment with your values and your skills. So if you're, for example, you love to write, that's a skill you have that you can use in your coaching. You love to go to parties. I knew one student we trained who had a little bit of a problem with her boyfriend, because every party they went to, they were in their early 30s. Every party they went to, she would end up finding someone who she would talk very closely to and support them, and they would become a client. And she found going to parties was this great way to build her coaching practice. Well, her boyfriend just wanted to go to parties. So we did some coaching with our coach. So often, someone might have a skill they didn't know was there, that as they start to build their coaching business, they realize, oh, this is the way I most enjoy meeting potential clients. And I think this is something that is so powerful to learn about ourselves. All right.
Great.
So
we have some questions coming in. How do I know
great.
I qualify to be a coach? Magdalene, want to speak to that?
That's kind of a big one, huh?
Yeah,
I think that it is a very much a question that's good to ask ourselves. Like, why do I want to be a coach? Am I wanting to help people? Am I wanting to, increase people's connections and communication skills? And I really like to look at, what is it that we want to give to the world? And then some of the sort of skills that are good to have going into it is a curiosity about other people, a desire to learn about them, a desire to connect them with tools that will help them. And often we are also kind of our first coaching client. We are helping ourselves. We're growing our own skills and our own relationship awareness as we build our skills to help others. So I think having that desire to actually be more emotionally complete, more skillful, more compassionate, more curious in ourselves is really helpful too. So I'm sure everybody here has some of that, right? Some
And
of that desire to grow.
one of the things actually we do is we help our coaches to create their bio for their first website when they're talking about their coaching journey. And what we find almost always is that someone's been a coach. When they look back into your life, your past, you find activities that kind of taken you to coaching, right? So maybe you were teaching, maybe you were managing, maybe you were supporting people, maybe you were the person in your family who was always kind of putting everything together or supporting, or the go-to person. So we find that usually by the time you're inquiring about becoming a coach, there's a really good reason for it, that it's been years in development. And the talents and the strengths and the skills that you've been developing on that time are now calling to you and saying, hey, you can take this professional, right? And so we love to see that. But that's one of the questions to ask is, do I feel like I've been going in this direction? And then that itself is not obviously being a full coach. You actually need to learn coaching as a profession, the strategies, the practices, and actually working with paying clients. But that's usually the most important preparation that people have as becoming a successful coach.
Yeah. And there's absolutely, to answer one of the questions in the chat, there's absolutely a beautiful sort of relationship between what we go through and what we have to learn in life, in our relationships, and the communities we most want to serve. So like if we have, for example, been a parent, and maybe we struggled with like one of our children or all of our children, there might be a natural desire to help serve other parents who might have a similar struggle. We might still be working on our relationships with our kids. I know that personally, the reason I became a relationship coach was my older daughters, who are now in their mid to late 20s, hit a certain age where I really wanted, suddenly I had been at home. I'd really been my primary profession, you could say, was being a homemaker. And I suddenly wanted my daughters to know that that I had a career. And it was for a while really about them. I also wanted to be able to pay for their college. So, but like there can be very personal reasons that we decide to step into our professional life. And there can also be life stages where suddenly we want to make a contribution in the world, or we just want to make a few lives, hopefully many dozens and hundreds of lives, better, and support people in having more love and connection in the world. So it's a beautiful path of service to be a relationship coach. And I always think of all the babies and families that might not be here if it weren't for relationship coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a question here. Is it normal that we may want to coach people in a relationship aspect that we're passionate about, but we are ourselves still going through it, learning it, healing from the experience?
So that's the one I just answered, Mark.
Okay, great. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And also the flip side is that when you're a relationship coach, you'll actually meet clients who are having experiences that are very similar to yours, right? Backgrounds are very similar to yours. And even if it's something that's not 100% resolved in yourself, and it's like, how cool, I get to help someone else with it. It's actually easier to help someone else in an area where you've had experience. Does that make sense? So helping the other person, it's very different than helping yourself in that area. And it's actually very healing for you as well.
And we train you, we help support you as a coach, kind of learn what to do if you're coaching someone who does have a similar struggle.
Yep.
And it pushes some of your buttons. That
Yep.
can happen too. So we want to know how to like come into our own center and be able to coach people who do have similar struggles. For some people, that's easy. And for some people, that's more difficult. And there's not a right or wrong way to be with that. Also, some of us find that our specialty might have very little to do with our personal life experience.
Mhm.
And that's okay. Actually, that can be very exciting. So when I became a relationship coach, I thought I was going to work with moms in a similar life stage to myself. That was not the way it turned out. I worked mostly with men who were older than me in professions I knew nothing about. And I did support them in their relationships. So I did understand, the other side that their partners kind of experience of them. However, I knew so little about kind of their day-to-day life. I learned so much. And I personally, I love that about coaching, how much we learn from our clients.
Mhm.
It's always every day has a great amount of growth in it just because what we're learning about other people. And I find that to be equally fulfilling, not just the service that we do, but the gifts of learning that we receive from our clients. And then I think it's also really important that as coaches, we set intentions for ourselves to have our own healthy, empowering emotions. So, like, I personally always like to enjoy a coaching session as a coach. I like to find moments that I'm highlighting, not only for the client, but for myself too, and to really find the meaning and the joy, even when the conversations might be very deep and even difficult, to find the joy in the insight and the understanding that's happening in the coaching conversation and the coaching session is, I think, incredibly empowering for us. And oftentimes our students and people in our community ask, how do I get confident as a coach? People really want confidence. And I get it, because it's difficult when we're very, like, when our nervousness or our anxiety about something kind of is center of the experience. And so we want confidence. But what I find over and over again is that it's just showing up and doing it, showing up to classes, showing up to practice, showing up as our own inner coach. This showing up as a coach, we step into that confidence and it almost just creeps up on you. One day, you're confident. And you can't really say, oh, it happened at that moment when I knew that. It usually has nothing to do with what you know. It's actually what you do. And in the doing, that confidence just becomes, oh, it's here. It's quiet. It's not like a big ego. It's just a kind of comfortable
Mhm.
way of being as I help someone. So I think if you have that kind of hope, I really want to be confident. See if you can make it a little easier. I really want to be comfortable as I
Mm.
coach. I really want to find it empowering or healing, so that it's easier to step into that confidence then.
That's great.
So back to the program details, because I've had some private questions. I
Mhm.
also wanted to emphasize that we enjoy training our coaches at different levels. So we prepare you to do one-on-one coaching with two people or more, and also being a group facilitator. So we license you in a process of learning materials for either couples, which is called Passion Patterns Presenter, or parenting, which is called the Aware Parent Program. And we give you all the outlines, the transcripts, and the teachings you need and the examples of it, so that you can then lead groups either online or in person or both.
Mhm.
And you get a 2-year license to do that. That starts after you graduate. And then to renew your license is very affordable. I believe it's $200. So once you know it's working, then most of our coaches choose to renew their license and go on leading groups with the content that we provide you with for decades. So you don't have to create all that for yourself. We like to give you a program that really has everything from the beginning level through to not only having your successful private coaching practice, but also if you want to lead groups, you can do it. And these tend to go really well together as a business plan, so that you have maybe 2 groups you lead every week, or maybe 1 group a week. Everyone's different. And then you have a certain amount of individual coaching clients. And then maybe you have some that you work with a couple or in a family. Some relationship coaches also work in bigger organizations, because there's a lot of relationship in the area of business too. And so a lot of businesses find that relationship coaching really benefits their team and their outcomes as an organization.
We just had a question, just a specific question about what does licensing mean? And that just means you get to use the training independently, in your practice with no other tie or anything like that. Yes.
It's specifically for being a presenter of the material.
Yes, that's right.
So most schools don't license their students to be presenters and facilitators.
That's right.
So we do. So there's an agreement of just to keep it fair in the worldwide marketplace. We don't want if we train 100 people in a year, we don't want all those 100 people to be presenting the same thing in an online format as advertising. So we have certain little rules like that, but basically is to train groups of 30 people or less in those lessons. So that what happens often in relationship coaching, either couples or parenting, many times people are more comfortable to sign up for a group where they're learning. And then once they get to know you as a group leader, they go, okay, I could tell this person about my problem in this area of my life, but they kind of want to check you out first as a group leader. And that's the reason we created this system of training, is to get our students the most successful practices possible. Because for us, for Mark and I, your success is our success. Yeah. So we want our trainees, our students to really have successful practices. That makes us very happy. So that's why we give you everything we can give you to make that possible, including a relationship coach's website.
Yep. And one of the cool things about being a relationship coach is that you kind of have allies in your community, meaning that there are organizations, schools, programs in every community that are in support of relationships, healthy parenting. And these are large amounts of people who are exactly perfect potential relationship coaching clients. And so when you have a group or you offer a workshop or you have something that you can facilitate, it's a really effective way to just get kind of clients and get your business running kind of in your backyard, in a sense, in your immediate community, by offering things like this. And it's religious organizations, they welcome, oh, you have something to help couples or relationships or parenting in a group format. They'll often just roll out the red carpet for you.
I know a coach we trained that partnered with a fertility clinic to do couples coaching, specifically for the struggles couples went through as they went through fertility treatments. And that filled up her entire practice. So sometimes people find one person who is giving them referrals, and that just makes their whole practice. And they have to actually get another coach to assist them because they're getting so many clients from that one referral source. It's pretty amazing. So some other things you get with the program, Mark, have you already talked about the integrity marketing system?
No, not very much.
Okay, let's share about that a little.
Yes. So I think we talked a little bit about values, meaning that as coaches, I think often when we're growing, we really want our marketing and our growth of our business and our business plan to really reflect our values of coaches. And so I'm guessing, and I would love to know, that as coaches, we're really concerned with helping people. We're often very generous, very giving. We want to be very fair. We want to give people as much benefit as possible. And I think it's important then for your marketing system to really honor that part of you the most, that real coach, that like heart-based coach of you. And so we have a system called integrity marketing. So it's really developed by coaches who understand what it's like to coach people. We understand the kind of where coaches come from. And so everything that you learn to build your practice is an extension of that part of you. So you don't come, I know sometimes people get into marketing programs and suddenly they're told to do something that just feels weird, feels icky, feels spammy, feels like inauthentic. And so we throw all that away. It's not necessary. Coaches actually do better when you're actually leading with your heart and you're actually being kind of coming from your soul as a helpful person. So the Coach Accelerator Workshop is really low tech, meaning that we know that most of coaching is conversation. And so we keep, we want to spend most of our time meeting people, meeting new people, being curious, being helpful, connecting with them, and not as much time locked in a room trying to create websites, videos, things like that. Like learning how to be a salesy person. So you have Clarity Session Magic. We teach you, this is the most thorough training in how to actually give a free coaching session called a Clarity Session. And it's a really wonderful session because it really gives the client a lot of benefit. It is a low stress, very generous, kind session to give anyone who you think might be able to use it. And then at the end, we find about 1 out of 4 people will sign up for services. And the other 3 will feel like they've just been given something really nice and a really nice experience, and they might sign up later. So that's Clarity Session Magic.
And this is just another bonus you get in the training, 7 mindsets of success, to kind of prepare you internally for growing your business in an easy way that helps you in 7 areas of success that might surprise you. You also get our patient coaching session library. You get Creative Mind Meditation Classroom, where you learn a healing approach to meditation that can be used for yourself and also with your individual clients. So let's just go over some of the details of what comes with this program in specific. So you get a full training in the 12-session coaching package to work with anyone on their relationship skills and their relationships. You choose your own coach specialty, or you choose both. And these are either couples coach or parent and family coach, or all of it. You get 6 months of live training with over 3 live classes a week. So we have enough live classes, so everyone tends to make one of the times work for them. And these are practice sessions 2 or 3 times a week, where you're practicing coaching skills with other students in the program, and you have master coaches there to supervise, answer your questions, and kind of help create a very safe, protective environment for that learning. You have mentorship training with Mark and I, where we are there answering your questions live and also coaching you and teaching you. You also have meditation class, and you also have specialty workshops in creative coaching skills. So we have actually almost every day of the week something live going on at different time zones, because we are a worldwide student body. So we have people in every part of the world in the training. And we also, for that reason, want to make the training really available to you, for you to do in your own way, in your own time. So there's no limit to how long you have to graduate. You keep the trainings forever. You can go through the whole program at your own pace. You don't have to come to any live class. They're all recorded and stored for you in your library. And you also get the opportunity to come to live online bootcamp trainings. So we have a 2-day this weekend for marketing, for anyone to learn skills for marketing themselves as a coach wherever you're at in your coach pathway. We also have a 3-day boot camp coming up December 4th to 6th, and there's future dates. So if any of these dates don't work with you, you can sign up for future ones. And we also have a 1-day coaching boot camp on January 15th. And that 1 day prepares you in the first 4 session plans for coaching anyone, whether it's relationship or general coaching. Then you also receive a relationship coach's website and the full group coaching session plans, either as a Passion Patterns coach or Aware Parent coach or both. And what else about the program? So the price, there's a 1-pay option of $17.95, which is regularly $24.95. So we only do this 1 time a year for one of our trainings. And so this is the time of year and this is the training. The relationship coaches win. So, and then you can join both specialties to be both the couples coach specialty with the group process, the group trainings for 12 weeks, or the parent and family. Both of those together are normally $3,500, but at this time of year, it's $29.95. And when you join that with the dual specialty, you actually receive 12 months of live training. And if you join that with a 1-pay option, you receive an additional boot camp training, an additional 3-day boot camp. So at our boot camps, we train you in 7 coaching strategy session plans. Some of those are relationship coaching, some of those are energy coaching, some of those are general coaching. And they all the boot camps give you a 7-session series that you can take a client through. So this is our system that we have found very quickly gets you ready to go coaching people. As soon as you've practiced any session 3 times, then you're ready to use it with a paying client. So as an extra bonus that just this morning I decided I really wanted to include, we're going to include Goddess Project for those in the dual enrollment 1-pay option. Mm-hmm. And so there's some bonuses that come with your training too. We have a creative coach series where you go through 8 different workshops, learning the methodology and the skills of creative coaching that helps all clients become more resourceful and able to take action using their own life experiences, their own energy, their own resources to empower themselves. You also get the bonus of over 100 guided meditations in the Creative Mind classroom. You receive the Foundations training room, which is perfect if you're a beginning coach or beginning in our methodology. This is a 4-class series that kind of teaches you the vocabulary, how to get started, how to take notes, the practical steps of the stages of a coaching session, also how to plan future coaching sessions. And you get the bonus of the 10-session roadmap, where you learn 10 of what we find are very frequent client coaching requests and how that can look in a 10-session series. So you get this map outlining all of those different sessions for like somebody who's wanting to start dating again, or someone who's having a struggle in their relationship to themselves. We give you what those topics would be over 10 or over 8 to 12 weeks with a client, and we give you 10 of those. You get the coaching session library, because we know that our students love to learn from watching real coaching. So we give you lots of those demos of coaching. And the mindset training for those inner resources for success. And you get the relationship coaching website. And you get the mentorship training room with over 25 recordings of past mentorship classes as well, because in those classes, you get to see what the real questions are that come up in coaching. And you get a lot of resources in you as you watch other people ask questions and be coached or be supervised in their coaching practice. So I believe that's everything I have here. This is where you go to sign up. And this is where you write to us if you have a question or you want to talk to our enrollment advisor.
Mhm.
All right. And did I see that a hand went up, or do we have some questions? And also Jeremy, who is our enrollment advisor, is here. And
He's
you
also
can,
available to answer any questions if you want to an appointment. Jeremy, maybe you can put your calendar link up there. And so this is, I think you probably get, this is the most comprehensive relationship coach training out there. We're the only one who will actually give you your whole coaching program that you can offer. We'll even teach you how to create your specializations. We'll even give you the exact sessions that we've used ourselves for a group coaching program for leading things through. And so we really believe in empowering you so that you have everything that you need. And all you need to do is kind of learn it and be able to start giving it and using it. And the marketing system is also simple, and yet something that you'll hear once you're in the training is how everyone is getting clients. I know sometimes it feels like easy to doubt, well, people must not be getting clients these days. Today, it's a fantastic time to be a coach. Coaching has never been more popular. The idea of getting services through Zoom has never been more widespread. Unfortunately, there hasn't been as much stress that people have gone through, relationship stress. People are looking all over the place. Divorce and those kinds of relationship stressor situations are through the roof. The world is really needing more and more people who are skilled and trained to help and bring out the best in two people in relationship and in, children and parents, families, children have been at home. I don't have to spell it out. We all know it's been an interesting 2 years, very challenging. And there's never been a better time to be a coach for that reason.
and I wanted to be clear. I had a question, a really good question. Do I have to be a group coach?
Yep.
Absolutely not. You do not have to be a group coach. And actually, all the group coaching session plans that we give you are to be used also in individual coaching. And they can also be used. Some people don't like the idea of leading a big group, but they really do like having a group of 2 or 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of options there, and you don't have to use anything you don't like ever. You have full control to choose what works for you and what doesn't. I really like to always empower people that way, and also who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with. So awesome. Okay, I'm seeing Jeremy, and I gotta just make a comment. That is such a cool backdrop, Jeremy. I've never seen that backdrop.
Oh, does he have a new backdrop?
Cool. Yes, yeah, a little rearrangement to the home office.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So we have a hand raised here. Jenny. I'll try to ask to unmute. Any other questions, you guys?
Yeah, write them into the chat if it's not working to unmute you.
Great. I guess it's not working. And so also the other, one of the other things that relationship coaches experience on the journey is that they find the skills are not just for your clients, they're for you too. So as you become a relationship coach, you see more opportunity in each relationship. You see opportunities in a conversation, not necessarily to put on a coach's hat and do something like that, but just to see, oh, I recognize what this person is going through. And I know how, I have like 2 or 3 ways that I could respond or help them rather than one. You just have to develop a vocabulary and a wealth of tools that you'll use with your children, with your, parents, adult parents, with your siblings, with your friends, with coworkers, with any of your clients who have relationship issues. You get to share in the wealth of the wisdom that your relationship coach will be providing for others and for you.
Okay, I have to answer a question in the chat about how long does it take to get, on average, a paying coaching client when you join the training. So of course, everyone is unique, and some people are kind of fast starters and they just dive in and they start working with people right away. We don't have, we have sort of a general, like it's, like I said, it's good to practice anything 3 times before you're using it with a paying client, and also to use the session plan on yourself so you know it as a client too. However, before COVID times, Mark and I were teaching live almost every month out of our center. We were giving live boot camp trainings. And so I remember one relationship boot camp we did where I think after day 2 of the training, a man who was in our program was out to dinner by himself. And he was listening to 2 different couples at 2 different tables having arguments. And he just couldn't hold back. He went over to one of the couples and he said, I know this is none of my business, but I'm learning relationship coaching. And would you like any suggestions? And he sat down and the other couple heard them and they came over, and the guy walked out of that restaurant with 2 relationship coaching clients. So it's not always that easy, but we have had many of our students either in online boot camp or live boot camp, as they feel that natural confidence, I would say, that comfort with coaching happen. And they realize it can be really easy to help someone develop these skills, that it's really more, it's in the client. It's not like you're doing it to them. They're realizing what they need and what they can do. And you're holding a supportive space and teaching tools. Then the student coach goes, oh, I can do this. And then they very quickly start to enroll clients. Sometimes it's been someone in their life that they've helped in another way. Sometimes it's a stranger. One of our students, it was in a shared Uber. And she signed up that person she shared the Uber with for a free clarity session in the hotel like gathering room the next day. And she signed up a very affluent client there. It was in Santa Barbara. We were doing that boot camp. So she said to us, how much should I charge? And I was like, this is Santa Barbara. You're going to start at $250 a session. And, so it depends. Also, people ask, how much do I make? It really, if you're coaching people in person in your area, it's good to do a little research about what coaches charge in your area. If you're coaching online, we give as a general rule of thumb to start at about $150 per session, but also many coaches do bigger packages. And so they enroll people in like a $2,000 package that might be somewhere between 8 and 12 coaching sessions in that package.
And, relationship coaching is like one of the things about it being widespread is it's not like oh, I only teach this kind of client, and so they're hard to find or they're hard to see. A relationship coaching clients are all around, meaning that everyone is looking for relationship help. And so when you go to one of our boot camps, and we have one coming up this weekend, what you usually find is that you open up to the clients. It's not that the clients are hard to find, you have to go seek them, is that your energy as a coach, when you now know how to receive inquiries and questions from people about relationship, is that the opportunities just start popping out. And of course, we also teach you very specific online strategies, but a lot of the change comes from your own kind of energetic shift when you open up and you realize I can help people, and therefore people open up and you find yourself just, getting clients. We have one student who had 5 clients from the same family. They're all paying, all separately. So it's kind of amazing. Relationship coaches often get a lot of referrals because people like to share that. They're like, oh my gosh, we're getting along better and we have a great relationship coach, and they get shared a lot more because it's of broad interest to people.
And this is different than therapy, because therapists have some rules around not being able to be shared among family members or friends, but coaches, we don't have that rule. Although you can have that rule if you want, that's up to you. But also, I just wanted to clarify a question that came in the chat. You are certified in our Passion Pattern system, and you're certified in Coaching Institute's Aware Parent program. You can still lead your own groups with your own content.
Yes.
However you want to. That's your personal business. We just certify you in a specific system and methodology, but that's optional. So there's really never an issue there, because it's, your content or our content, and then all the skills you're learning will also build up your resources to create your own courses and your own material. All right. I think we have covered just about everything here. It's been a great hour and 15 minutes with you guys.
Yep.
I hope that you become a relationship coach, and I hope that your relationships also really just keep growing and evolving, and we look forward to getting to know you better very soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, everybody. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.